Say I Quit podcast on YouTube. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Oh, it's true. It's true.
Damn true.
It is damn true that the Say I Quit podcast is back with a very, very special episode. It is so much to fucking talk about in the world of wrestling. Excuse my French. It's so much to talk about in the world of professional wrestling right now. From the independent scene, me and Reed Starks, who unfortunately isn't here today, we caught a PWE show this weekend, Pro Wrestling Epic. Y'all definitely need to get hip on them because this
Incredible.
They are incredible. PWE is incredible. Shout out to Lane Mephisto and all of the wrestlers that he has working with PWE.
Hold on, you gotta talk about that death match.
Man, I saw a death match in person. Akira, who, if you were hip on MLW, he's wrestled in MLW. He's kind of like a death match guy. Like, that's his thing. You know what I'm saying? So the crazy thing is Lenny was supposed to be in the match. When Lenny couldn't be in the match anymore, he hit up Akira, you know what I'm saying, to come and give us a crazy show. I've never seen a death match in person. I've never been in the building for a death match, yet alone be 3 feet away from everything that, like, Akira literally swung on me because blood was in his eye. He literally swung on me, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, what's good with you, Brantley? So seeing a death match in person, Brantley? Gotta be one of the craziest experiences I've ever had in my lifelong career of being a professional wrestling fan. You know what I'm saying? But PWE hits the St. Louis and East St. Louis, Southern Illinois area a lot, and different parts of Missouri. Man, if you in those areas, PWE. If you ever come to St. Louis and visit Little Derrick, we got to go to a PWE show. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, my uncle Jonathan Zulu didn't walk away with the Cruiserweight Championship, but he'll get that title sooner than later for sure. I'm excited for that. You know, we'll definitely bring him back on the podcast whenever he does accomplish that. But amazing weekend. Then I went to Monday Night Raw afterwards.
With Reed again.
You know what I'm saying? Reed again. You know what I'm saying? He was sleeping. I could have slept him, but you know, that's bro. So I ain't had to catch him slipping too much. But you know what I'm saying? Monday Night Raw was amazing. I got a 2-for-1 special. And to backtrack a little bit, Sunday, your boy opened up for R-Truth, man.
Got to
meet R-Truth.
Yeah.
Got to chat it up with R-Truth. Yeah, they pre-taped the show for next week, so I got the spoilers. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be posting. I think we posted one of the spoilers on our YouTube Shorts already. I'll post another one later. It looks like I did not post it actually, so I'm gonna post the spoilers today or tomorrow because I got a couple things I need to upload. I got a couple things I need to upload to our YouTube Shorts page, like my experience at PWE. You know what I'm saying? The part 1 and the part 2 of the first night, especially the Rhino clips. Y'all got to see what the man beast, the War Machine did, and us all being in the crowd screaming gore, screaming ECW. You know what I'm saying? It was a beautiful, beautiful sight, man. Beautiful weekend. And that doesn't even start with what happened in WWE this past weekend, because the great one, the final boss, has returned and has essentially put a arrow on the back of, or the front, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? How do you want to put it? Like, he's got a bullseye on Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and Jimmy Uso, who also returned. A lot of people weren't really talking about Jimmy's return, who
I'm glad
we were all looking forward to that. I think that was a dope element to that match in particular, to have Jimmy return and make the save for Roman Reigns and make that clear that is where his allegiance lies. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, it's a lot of things that could happen with the final boss, with The Rock. How do you see things playing out in the near future, leading up to WrestleMania for The Rock, Les?
Bro, there's so many ways it could go, bro. Like, I'm thinking like we've been thinking, right? The Civil War at Survivor Series, like that's one of the main biggest things. But I know the idea that we've been floating around like the triple threat match, at WrestleMania 41. Whether they want to do that, whether they want to do, I saw somebody said, Cody should drop the title beforehand to Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns should face The Rock at WrestleMania for the title. I don't. It don't need the title, bro. It don't need the title. We've been saying that for years. It do not need the title. I don't know what you think. What you think about that? You think it should be for a title,
bro? We talked about this last year. Hell no. And this is another reason why we want Cody was a big thing, because they know how do they need a title. Now, I do feel like WWE has put themselves in a conundrum in this entire situation, right? Because obviously we have to get The Rock versus Cody Rhodes eventually.
We have to.
But we also need that one-on-one with Roman and The Rock. And if we're being honest, The Rock needs to lose.
Has to.
But The Rock shouldn't lose to Roman, then get a match against Cody. And The Rock probably shouldn't eat a pin before he faces Roman.
Exactly.
So he shouldn't face Cody before he faces Roman.
But then
ultimately, The Rock, first and foremost, because they wanted to have this match happen for a long time. It just so happened that The Rock wasn't ready and The Rock's schedule didn't permit it because he got booted out of DC, the DC universe, until last year or earlier this year. WrestleMania 40, we wanted Cody.
Yeah.
And we definitely didn't want The Rock versus Roman for the title. It doesn't need the title. It didn't need the title last year. If it was going to happen for the title, it had to happen last year. Here's another thing. The Rock don't need to be the champion.
Nope.
Because if that's the case, Roman beats Cody in the end of the trilogy, which in my opinion, the trilogy should end with Cody Rhodes winning.
Exactly.
And honestly, if we're being honest, the trilogy should happen at WrestleMania.
Yup.
If I'm being 100 with you. Just like Stone Cold and The Rock.
Yup.
Just like Stone Cold and The Rock. Like, they had their singles matches on pay-per-view, on other pay-per-views, you know what I'm saying? But the quote-unquote trilogy of The Rock and Stone Cold should be was at WrestleMania, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's like, go ahead.
Nah, I was gonna say it's a good point that you brought up. Like, WWE right now is at a standstill yet again, and it has to do with Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and The Rock. Like you said, you can't have The Rock eat a pin before he eats a pin at Mania. Yeah, he won last year in the tag match. But he can't lose this next match and then say, "Oh, well, I deserve to face Roman Reigns," blah 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 blah. But then I also don't want to see Cody Rhodes drop the title to Roman Reigns, because
when Roman just had the title for 4 years,
and
The Rock just doesn't need to be champion.
He don't need to be champion, and he's been slinging over this fucking the people's champion
belt. Like, here's my thing: we had Roman Reigns as a part-time champion for 4 years.
Yup.
We got Cody Rhodes, who is the most fighting champion that we've had as the face of the company in a long time, if we're being honest. Because before we had Brock being that guy that was
part-time,
extremely part-time. The Rock is going to be more part-time than any of them.
Worse than Logan Paul.
We won't see that title again until WrestleMania of next year.
Worse than Logan Paul.
If The Rock walked away as a champion. And that's why I'm like, I get the idea of having the triple threat match. That's the only reason why I'm cool with it. Because I think once you get that triple threat match, you have you can then go on to SummerSlam and do The Rock versus Roman Reigns.
And then I think Cody should be facing Randy at next year's SummerSlam.
That would be suitable if we want to do it this way, and we want to protect all parties involved as much as possible. That way, Roman can eat the pin to Cody at WrestleMania again. It's a triple threat. Roman can eat the pin, but then he can get his big win back on The Rock. Following that, I saw someone pitch the idea of Cody versus The Rock, maybe at Royal Rumble or something, and Roman cost The Rock. But again, I don't think The Rock needs to eat a pin until he faces Roman, which is why I don't think he should face Cody unless it's in a triple threat match before he faces Roman Reigns one-on-one.
Well, another aspect to this is, me personally, we know how Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, they're wrestling soulmates, but we haven't seen them put on a 50-minute banger without the involvement of the bloodline. And I feel like that's something that we need to see, like, before Roman Reigns calls it quits, because we know it's coming soon. I don't think Roman Reigns is going to spend another 10 years in the WWE. He has a family. He maybe wants to try his footing in Hollywood. And I don't see it happening like that. So I feel like we need to see that singles match. I don't know if it's gonna happen at Mania though, bro. But another aspect that we have to think about, SummerSlam is 2 nights now. Starting next year is 2 nights. So if there's a way for them to, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
It's a lot of ways they could play this, bro. Because then it's also, I guess we finally get the Cena versus, if we do that triple threat, I guess we finally get the one-on-one between Cena and Randy Orton at WrestleMania. Instead of us getting Cody versus Randy, but again, my thing is, when The Rock faces Roman, I don't want to see The Rock again.
No.
After Roman beats him.
No, I think
and
that's
I really don't want to see them do
of The Rock.
I really don't, and that's the end of the bloodline. As we know, at least. I'm sure the Usos will have their alliance with Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman will probably always be his wise man. But I think that's the end of Roman Reigns and the tribal chief and all of that stuff. Or he's officially the only tribal chief after that. He's officially the head of the table, the head of that family.
It should be that way. Yep.
And it should be that way. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, I don't want to even see him lose to The Rock, and then he gotta get his vengeance next year.
Oh, against Solo Sikoa, and like nah, bro, it's over, bro.
I ain't with you on that one, Brantley. I'm cool with Cody fighting John, but I think John needs to put over. He needs to put over somebody like Carmelo Hayes or Brian Breaker for his last match, like the guys that are really the future. You know what I'm saying? Somebody young. Cody already the guy. Cody doesn't need to beat Cena at all.
Exactly. Okay. I think. Actually, I had a question for you, right? Solo Sikoa, Bloodline 2.0. Where do you see them in the next year?
That's the question. Because if The Rock is the one orchestrating all of this, when he loses, they're gone. Or they turn on Solo and just become kind of God with Jacob Fatu. Or do everybody go their own way? Because obviously Fatu will always be held back until he gets from under Solo. So I guess, of course, we kind of got to run that one-on-one eventually, I would say.
Well, that's the biggest issue that we had, like the past year. Like, it's cool having so many people from the bloodline and the Samoan family, but what do we do with them after it's all said and done?
Like, and unfortunately for God, and unfortunately for Street Profits and DIY, because I think Street Profits are due a tag team title win. And I thought they should have won on Friday in that ladder match.
Should have.
The Motor City Machine Guns are coming to SmackDown because they're not going to NXT anymore. They need to win those titles like the first night they debut.
As soon as
possible. They cannot eat a pin to God.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. They can't lose the ladder match to them either. Fuck it.
If Motor
They
City
need to come
Machine
in
Guns,
and kill everything. Like,
if Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley finally get to WWE and they eat a pin from God or any fucking body, bro, even A-Town Down Under, bro, I do not give a fuck, bro. I'm gonna have a
and
problem.
it's much different than the Julia and Roxanne situation because now you have established. It's a reason to it because Cora is cool with Roxanne, but Cora's still gonna want to be that champion.
Of course,
this gives a way for Stephanie Vakir and Julia to both become, both be in those matches. Because I'm looking at that like that's gonna be a fatal 4-way match. It'll probably be a tag team match first, but then it'll be a fatal 4-way match. You know what I'm saying? Probably tag team at Halloween Havoc. The next pay-per-view, it'll be a fatal 4-way match between the four. Which will probably be NXT Deadline. I think that's the one probably in December or something. So I like how they're playing that. It's no reason for the Motor City Machine Guns at all to lose to the Bloodline. Just
nobody.
When honestly, the Bloodline should be looking at themselves as failures. If we be honest, what y'all doing is not working. You couldn't beat Cody. You couldn't beat Cody and Roman. Obviously, we need to be getting Roman versus Solo 1-on-1. I'm hoping that we get that at Crown Jewel. I'm guessing. Or do we run Roman versus Jacob? But I kind of don't want to see Jacob lose this quick. And Roman doesn't need to lose to Jacob before he faces The Rock. And it is a lot of... I don't think they really thought all of this out properly. You know what I'm saying? If I'm being honest. Because...
And it can't be like...
It's good to have a lot of options, but also it's bad. Because now... You're putting yourself, your hands are tied in so many ways. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that show Young Rock, right? You remember that episode a couple years ago, and it's little Roman Reigns and talking to older Rock, and he's like, a match that big can only happen at WrestleMania. So I feel like WWE still knows that that's a money making match right there.
The 1-on-1.
Yeah,
they don't need Cody in that match.
But my issue with it is. I take somebody like Jacob Fatu. I don't want to see Jacob Fatu lose to Roman Reigns at like fucking Elimination Chamber. I want to see that match. I want to see them go crazy in a match. I know like beggars can't be choosers, and we probably won't fucking get that. We won't get our 1 hour Iron Man match between Roman Reigns. But man, bro, I think it has to happen sometime within next year. But no, definitely not now.
I like that idea, Brinley. You just cooked with that.
Should end it in no
disqualification. We could do the Roman versus Jacob at Crown Jewel. We could do that at Crown Jewel. And have it end with a DQ. And that is what sets up the, a War Games match. And then Roman has to find his team. That'll be the story for the next month. Or the next 3-4 weeks. I don't know how far apart they are because Crown Jewel is like November 2nd.
Yeah,
so
2 weeks to 4 weeks, I think, some shit like that.
And then what's the call is going to be at the end of the month, right after Thanksgiving. Survivor Series will be November 30th, right? Or is it the 23rd? When is Survivor Series? Because then he'll have 3 to 4 weeks to essentially establish his team.
Let's see. Survivor Series is
November 30th. Yep.
Okay, but see, this is the problem, which I don't think WWE really has this problem. But that situation with AEW where they have like specials like every other week, and you're not building towards a pay-per-view, you're building towards some what was it the other day?
Title Tuesday. And then they only named it Title Tuesday because
they were moving. Yeah,
they had to move because of the MLB games. I believe they moved because of the MLB playoff.
Yeah, they had to. But now I was saying like they build towards like Title Tuesdays or like fucking Wednesday Warfare, but you have a pay-per-view on Saturday, Sunday, like Wrestle Dream, and you completely neglect it until fucking a week before. you build it in like the 6 shows that you have.
I mean, some of the shows was building towards these matches, but some of the matches are just thrown together. You know what I'm saying?
Which,
if we being honest about the Wrestle Dream card,
that's why that's kind of like my ideology, like on Crown Jewel being so close to Survivor Series. Because for us, Survivor Series is the biggest show. Obviously, like to Saudi Arabia, Crown Jewel is Crown Jewel.
I agree, Bradley.
But a lot of times we don't really consider Crown Jewel to be a part of like the big.
We don't consider it a big
Yeah.
pay-per-view. Like they try to treat it like with
Mhm.
doing like the big Royal Rumble, the big the greatest wrestler ever tournament. Now, I guess that's a good segue to Crown Jewel and what is going to be. Let's look up the championship name because I want to get this. I want to get it right.
Damn, I can't wait till Andre the Giant show up as number 1, bro. Or Yokozuna.
Okay, and apparently Sportskeeda has an update on whether the title will be defended.
It's not. No, they said it's.
Be.
No, they said it's only going to be mentioned at the Crown Jewel show. It's never else going to be mentioned. Like, what is it called, bro?
Then
it's not
Undertaker won that trophy. I forgot Undertaker won that trophy. The Two-Wake Mountain trophy.
The what?
Two-Wake Mountain. Remember when he eliminated AJ Styles last, and that kind of was what led to them having that match. You feel me? People forgot about that. You feel me?
I did.
Because this will definitely be a one and done. Okay, let's just call it the Crown Jewel Championship.
Yeah,
Essentially,
bro.
the plan for Crown Jewel, and I guess they're trying to make this an annual thing since they no longer do it at Survivor Series, is going to be to have the women's and men's World Heavyweight and WWE Championship to fight each other and crown the Crown Jewel champion.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it because I do miss seeing, the world champions fight each other. There are some matches that we missed out on that should have happened maybe the last 2 years because of the War Game scenario and because it's no longer brand warfare.
What was that match that was supposed to happen in Survivor Series? We could have got, it was Brock Lesnar versus Adam Cole versus who, bro?
Daniel Bryan.
Was it Daniel Bryan?
No, that's when that's when NXT did it. It was Adam Cole versus
Brock versus somebody.
No, it was Brock wasn't the champion at that time, was he?
Yeah, he was.
During that year. Did Brock not participate in the match then or something?
Hold on. Oh, it was Survivor Series 2019. It was supposed to be Lesnar versus Adam Cole versus Bray Wyatt.
Okay.
Bro, what, bro?
What happened with that one?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Why didn't we get that match? Because we got the brand warfare matches, but they didn't. That's what it was. I think they did the men's and the women's matches, but they didn't do the title matches.
Let me see. I don't know. I think Vince made that decision
to only do the men's and women's,
which is fucking.
Because I recall it wasn't any regular triple threat matches. Look at the card for that.
Hold on. All I really remember was, bro, when Gunther got eliminated, Walter, when he got eliminated first, I was like, what, bro?
No, Vince didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah.
Okay, we did get Becky versus Shayna versus. They ended up doing the Fiend against Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole versus Pete Dunne.
Yeah, which
and Rey Mysterio versus Brock Lesnar instead of giving us the actual triple threat.
Triple threat, which is what they should have did, bro. Because that would have been a crazy match, to be honest, bro.
Okay, because they did do. It was an interbrand triple threat for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship.
Yeah.
They did a triple threat tag team match between the War Raiders, the New Day, and the Undisputed Era. Then it was the women's match. It was also, they did do the AJ versus Roderick versus Nakamura. I don't know why. That was the match I was thinking about. That match was crazy.
That match was fucking insane.
That match was fire. But yeah, they wet the bed on that one. So I do miss having those matches. I don't think it ever hurts the other champion too much to lose to the other champion. But I'm gonna be real with you. I don't want to see Cody or Gunther lose.
I don't.
The women's cool. Nia should beat Liv if I'm being 100.
By far.
And I ain't gonna lie, Tiffany damn near should cash in on one of them.
I think she should cash in on fucking.
To be honest, I would like to see her cash in on Liv and get Liv and Rhea
amazing.
the fuck away from the title. Excuse my language. Let's get Liv and Rhea away from the title.
And it would put Tiffany on Raw. That shit would be fire.
And they could use her on Raw. You know what I'm saying? They could use her on Raw, even though, you know, her losing, SmackDown losing her may hurt a little bit as well.
Mm-hmm.
But SmackDown is about to get Charlotte back soon, apparently. So
and
they kind of.
It also keeps Nia away from Tiffany until however long.
You know, but I know that I can see they also want to play that storyline out. So maybe Liv, it's tough. It's tough. Because what, does Liv win and then Tiffany comes out? It's going to be so much. Again, I got the Raw spoilers because let's just be honest. It's 5 people that's going to be intertwined in this storyline. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it is
fucking crazy.
Tiffany and Nia.
Mm-hmm.
It's Liv with Raquel. And it's Rhea Ripley, who still got it out for Liv.
Yep.
So it's like
Raquel.
And Raquel as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they can do a lot with that match for sure. They can do a lot with that match. I'm gonna be real with you. Nia has been on the run of her life.
Yep.
To be honest, Liv has been on the run of her life, but their match is going to be nothing compared to Gunther versus Cody Rhodes. That is a legit match of the year contender, which is why I'm not mad at us getting that match. You know, as a wrestling fan, we've been wanting that match. You know what I'm saying? That's the match we've been wanting. We've been looking forward to it.
They gave us a Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Royal Rumble moment, bro, and we wanted more, bro. We wanted more. I'm know they finna
Tiffany
cook
versus Charlotte at Mania because I think that Io should win the Royal Rumble and face Rhea, honestly, or Bianca. Like we either gotta have Bianca versus Rhea this year, or we need Io versus Rhea. I feel like if you're looking at the Raw and the SmackDown rosters, like those are the ones that are positioned. Unless we're gonna have Julia come in and win the Royal Rumble. And then it needs to be Julia versus Io. Or we going to have a Roxanne come in and win the Royal Rumble after she loses the title to either Julia or Stephanie.
This is why I don't like that Crown Jewel title, right? Why couldn't they just announce the women's mid-card title? Because, look, the women's mid-card title, it don't got to be 2 separate titles. This could be a title that could go on both Raw and SmackDown. In my opinion, I feel like the women's mid card and the main roster definitely needs it.
Why crown a championship that doesn't matter when we could crown a championship that actually would help people? You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at the Speed Championship either. I do like I like that they are trying to put on good matches on Speed. Shout out to Candice LeRae for being the first women's Speed champion. She deserves any type of success that you know what I'm saying? But I do think that they got a women's mid-card title because it would solve a lot of issues. Honestly, NXT need one too. If I'm being honest with you.
What?
A women's mid-card title. NXT mid-card title is what? Oh, I'm tripping. But Kalani gonna have to lose to Stephanie or somebody.
Delta. She gotta lose to Delta. You know Delta coming in.
How long are we gonna be able to keep Stephanie away from one of those titles? You know what I'm saying?
How long we keeping Julia
away from
the titles?
Julia is up first, if I'm being honest with you. Julia should win the title first, more than likely.
Wait,
Julia should win the title first, but
when Stephanie faced Julia a couple months ago, who won that match? I think Stephanie won that match.
Stephanie won, yeah.
So I definitely think Julia should win this.
But honestly, they should prolong their one-on-one till Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, next year. Fuck, bro. I do not want to see that now. You just brought these ladies in. You might as well let it cook a little bit. I trust Shawn Michaels. I trust Shawn Michaels with booking. I don't ever
The
worry
women's
about.
division in particular.
Yep. I don't
He
ever
has
worry
done
about
a
Shawn
tremendous
Michaels.
job of booking the women's division and understanding. That's why I was telling people Roxanne wasn't gonna lose.
Mm-hmm.
Julia needs to be crowned on a pay-per-view.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't just gonna happen just because they was in Chicago.
I love how people was mad, like, oh, you brought Julia in and she's already jobbing out to Roxanne. Shut the fuck up, bro.
She's jobbing out to the greatest women's champion in NXT history, arguably. You know what I'm saying? She's jobbing out to the future of the women's division. Roxanne is 22.
People forget that. Me and Roxanne the same age, I think.
Roxanne is 22, man. That's crazy. How talented she is. How much more time she has to develop. You know what I'm saying? People like Rhea have already given her props. Bailey gives her props. You know what I'm saying? Like the standard bearers of the WWE women's division look at Roxanne as next in line. You know what I'm saying? As far as like she's gonna be the future face of the company. You know what I'm saying? As far as the women division goes. So her getting a win over Julia is great.
Cora J should have an NXT moment. Here's the thing with Cora J, right? I love Cora Jade, but unfortunately, it's like, how could I say? It's like a D Rose situation, right? You can't put D Rose like 2 years ago. Like he can't be the starting PG. Like he can't start the game. Because the history with injuries. You can't put your trust in somebody with a history of injuries until their body could prove that they could withstand it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
It's just one of those situations. Like Nikita Lyons, she shouldn't be anywhere near a title. If I'm being real.
Not at all. Not even close. But look, and also, let's just be real. Let's be real completely about Cora Jade, Lash Legend, Jada Parker, Lola Vice. I think those are Sol Ruka. Kalani is already a champion. But even Tatum Paxley, I think, is damn talented and deserves to be a champion, right? I just named 6 women who all deserve it, right? Unfortunately for them, NXT just signed Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, and Delta. So, unfortunately for them, and honestly, all of the people that I just named don't have much experience. So, fortunately for them, they're not old heads. They don't need to be in a rush. They could stay in NXT for the next 3 years and eventually get those moments.
Every single one of them that you just named, they're all 2.0 babies. It's not like they was here fucking 5-10 years ago. Like,
so sometimes you have to wait for your moment. You know what I'm saying? And they, Julia, Stephanie, and Delta, I don't see in NXT for longer than a year, maybe 2 at the most. While they also help those women that I just named continue to develop to become better wrestlers, more well-rounded in ring, more well-rounded on the mic, more notable. So when they do have these moments, it's bigger than it would be now. You know what I'm saying? I think all of those women I just named will get their moment. But it's a matter of when. Like, honestly, I'm cool with Lash and Jakara beating Bianca and Jade.
Shit, they've been wanting the smoke, bro. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
I'm fine with it. You know what I'm saying? I would have no problem with that whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's now or they lose the first matchup and then they come back some months later and get that matchup. Yeah. I think that's the best chance of Lash getting a championship anytime soon. And she deserves a championship. She's damn good. She's improved a lot, but to act like there's not much more room for improvement would be a lie. Same with Jada, same with Lola, same with Tatum, Sol Ruka. All of them are amazing. They have come up so much in just a year, 2 years for them. Like all of them really only been on like TV for like 2 years. So Ruka had a big injury. And again, let's be real with you. Let me be real with you.
Mm-hmm.
So Ruka was gonna be the NXT North American champion had she never got hurt.
Oh yeah, of course she would have.
She would have got it over Kalani.
Yeah.
I know they see a lot in Kalani. I saw a lot in Kalani when I first saw her. I saw her star potential. But I think Sol Ruka was definitely more placed into that position until she messed her knee up.
Exactly.
So, like you said, they wanted her to prove herself, prove that her body can hold up before they give her that moment. I do think she may even be next to beat Kalani if it's not going to be a Delta. You know what I'm saying? When she comes in. I can see Delta. I can see Delta much playing like the Obafemi, where she does win the mid-card title very quickly and dominates that division for a while, and then eventually, moves up to the world title picture.
It's all in that trust factor too. Because all right, 2 examples. All right, Christian Cage, Samoa Joe, 2 of the most talented wrestlers you could get, especially veterans of the fucking game, bro. While we wanted to see Samoa Joe have that WWE title, and I wish he did when he was still here in WWE. I don't know if you remember, Samoa Joe used to get concussed a lot. He used to get a lot of concussions, and Christian was the same exact way. So how can we put the company's biggest title on somebody that gets injured when, God forbid, we put the title on him, he's gonna get injured tomorrow? You know what I mean? It's always that trust factor.
Don't remind me that, man. Because you know who that remind me of?
Who?
My God, Dolph Ziggler, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Made my mans lose. Made my mans cash in on John Cena at the height of the Cena hate train. You know how happy I was? I celebrated that night. Plus, I'm a Dolph Ziggler fan. I celebrated. And then they made my boy lose like 2 months later to Alberto Del Rio, who really is the person that gave him a fucking concussion. Like, come on, dog.
Didn't Dolph cash in on Alberto Del Rio?
Oh, he did cash in on. I thought he cashed in on Cena, or did he cash in on Alberto?
No, Alberto, because it was on Raw, right?
It was on Raw.
Yeah, I remember that shit.
It probably was Alberto. He did some. I think he had just beat Cena like right before he cashed in or something.
That's what it was. Because Alberto was in like the corner and he was holding on, and then I hear to show the world. I hear to show the world.
Bro.
Man, oh man, bro. He's showing out in TNA, bro. That was probably the best.
So I had him on my top. Well, I had him on my top wrestlers of the last calendar year, man. Since January, he been cooking.
Yeah.
But yes, definitely the injuries will always be a factor. Oh, that's what it was. He defeated Cena in a ladder match to keep his money in the bank. Then he went and cashed it in.
So wait, who did Alberto Del Rio face that night?
Let's see. Maybe it was Cena that Alberto felt that night too.
I remember that shit, but I don't remember who he faced before that.
Oh, Del Rio got attacked by
probably
Jack Swagger. Worse, Jack Swagger. Nah, I used to fuck with that Jack a lot. So yeah.
We the people head ass. Didn't Jack Swagger also hold the fucking briefcase?
I believe Jack Swagger was the Money in the Bank for a second. There's been a lot of people.
Damn.
Then he cashed it in on ECW or something. But he cashed. No, I think that's how he won the World Heavyweight Championship.
No, the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, he cashed it in on your favorite wrestler.
I remember that shit too.
On your favorite wrestler.
Who, Jeff Hardy?
Y2J.
Oh, you fucking piece of bitch, bro.
Nah, that was a solid reign for my boy, man. I had high hopes for Swagger, man. He just didn't, unfortunately, couldn't live up to the expectations that were kind of placed on him from the jump with his career. His best thing was being with Zeb Coulter, too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't blame him as much as I blame Vince, because I feel like he's one of those guys that could have been a star, but Vince just didn't know how to make stars from like 2009 to like 2014, 15 when the Shield came.
Nah,
It was at least 5 years of guys that could have been the guy that he just wet the bed on.
John Morrison, Evan Bourne, Kofi Kingston. Fuck, bro. I could go on and on.
It's a lot of guys that came in during that time that could have been one of the guys, and Vince just even a guy like Dolph Ziggler. He had all the intangibles.
Bobby
Benjamin.
Lashley.
Bro,
fucking
all
Lashley.
Of these guys had all of the intangibles to be the guy or one of the guys, but he never wanted to pull that trigger on them. So that was a tough time to come up in. So I can't blame it all on a guy like Jack Swagger, who in ring, he had the talent. You know what I'm saying? And he had a manager to carry him on the mic in Zeb Coulter. You know what I'm saying?
Coulter,
so I love the whole We the People stuff. Like, that was dope. You know what I'm saying? That was a very interesting storyline. You know what I'm saying? Had us intrigued. You feel me? But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm blaming Vince more than I blame the wrestlers during that time. For sure. But while we are talking about NXT, let's get into Title Tuesday. Brantley had mentioned how they shouldn't have called it Title Tuesday because it was only one title on the line. I agree. If they were going to do a Title Tuesday, they could have had multiple titles on the line. But why run a Title Tuesday, even though you're having a show on Tuesday, right before Wrestle Dream, and then only have one title on the line? When you could have had the ROH titles on the line for all I care. Give us more than one title match, especially if you're trying to, I'm gonna be real with you, because first and foremost, I don't think their rating was that bad, considering that's not the night that they usually run.
Yeah.
And you gotta at least know that, if I'm being real, I think 75% of AEW's audience does watch WWE. I think it's a 25-25 on either side that like only watches WWE, only watches AEW. I don't think it is as many people. Now, there are those who prefer one over the other, but that doesn't mean that they don't watch or they prefer what the other is doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it was a point in time where I preferred what AEW was doing over what WWE was doing.
There's been
and now it's a time where I prefer what WWE is doing over what AEW is doing right now. I think both are doing great. I think both have a lot of things they could do better. AEW is missing a lot on doing like week-to-week bookings. Side note right quick. Obviously, I think with Christian Cage winning that contract and having the ability to kind of cash in whenever he wants, I think they was expecting Luchasaurus to play a factor in this, and Luchasaurus is apparently out with a potential career-ending injury. So again, I didn't understand the point of Christian winning, if I'm being honest. But if it was a time to do that turn, they should have did it in Wembley, and it would have been an amazing reaction.
You know what's my favorite part of AEW though?
What?
I am the learning tree.
Oh my God.
Yo, bro.
But
I am the learning tree.
To get back to the Raves, man, I think this is more about congrats to NXT for having such great ratings 2 weeks in a row. Let's see if they can continue the streak being on the CW. Let's see if they can, because like I've been saying, I like them going to the CW because it's a very teenage audience. And this is a chance to get some teenagers into wrestling and see that wrestling is still cool. Wrestling is like busting. People be telling me all the time, let me find out WWE busting again. You know what I'm saying? Because, it was a point in time where
It was dog shit.
You know, WWE got to kind of being corny. So I don't get mad when people tell me like, man, wrestling had got corny for me for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of it, you know, and then of course, if you always looking at it from the lens of trying to say it's fake, then you're gonna look at it as corny. But I mean, you don't look at movies and TV shows as they corny when obviously the shit they doing is fake animes. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there.
Soap opera for men.
It's a soap opera for men that women are gonna enjoy a fucking lot. You know what I'm saying? But I do think that they are in a great position. AEW now, while I don't want to take nothing away from AEW because they did run at a time that isn't their time slot, and their first hour went head to head with NXT's last hour. I would say this: AEW does have issues, glaring issues that they need to fix before they go on streaming, and that is the lack of. And it's tough because as a person that watches a lot more than I used to, for like, I ain't gonna lie, when I was watching weekly and then, you know, all the CM Punk shit happened and I started watching weekly, and I started watching weekly again. Then I stopped watching weekly, then Mercedes Moné signed, so I started watching weekly, and now I'm like, you know, Mercedes wasn't there for the past couple of weeks, I ain't gonna lie, so I ain't really watched that much. I kept up with what was going on, but I didn't watch that much because they aren't having enough. They do one or two things. They do week to week, just booking, trying to, you know, be for sickos, like Tony said, and just book some amazing match on a random Wednesday that we should have to wait to pay-per-view to see. Or they long-term book for too long to where people kind of forget that the story is even going.
Swerve and Keith Lee, I'll never forgive him.
We never got a resolution.
I'll never forgive
because they
him.
were trying to long-term book it instead of giving us the matches. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I don't know if it'll ever happen again. I don't know how Keith Lee really doing with his injury. He's out still. I hope we get it, bro. One day, bro. One day.
Like, man, I don't like Willow and Mariah May being a filler feud because that's what it feels like to me. It feels like it's a filler feud. Willow is probably your biggest baby face in the women's division right now, since Tony Storm is not there. I honestly, Willow is more of a baby face than Tony. You know what I'm saying? It's like she's a baby face, a John Cena type, a Cody Rhodes type of baby face. Yeah. And you're feeding her to your second biggest heel because Mercedes is your biggest heel, kind of at Wrestle Dream, which of course you want Wrestle Dream to be a great pay-per-view, but you know, I got a lot of gripes with what they have been doing, and I think they failed to realize, you know, you ain't gonna be able to run up against NXT like you used to. You know what I'm saying? Like not being on a Tuesday night with NXT coming to their night, you're not gonna be able to really beat them or even really compete. It was a glaring discrepancy on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? I do think a lot of it is because AEW was not on their night, but AEW has to be real with themselves and be like, look, what we're doing, we're not hitting the marks that we were hitting a year or two ago. Hopefully Max increases that for them. I would hope. Yeah.
At least visibility wise.
At least you know, there'll be more people faces, but they also just gotta do a better job of creating the interesting storylines that we had initially, and also, you know, it's only so many more dream matches that they got, man. They give us so many of them. You know what I'm saying? So now you got to go sign some new talent. Like, if we're being honest, we ran through a lot of Ospreys already.
We burned through so fucking many, bro.
He ain't even been there a year, and we done ran through a lot of them. Okada ain't been there a year, and we done ran through a lot of them.
Shit, Ricochet's about to get that treatment.
They're almost done. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mercedes is the one that, you know, they've been doing a good job of like slowly getting her to the Britt Baker match first. The Willow had to go first, of course. Then the Britt Baker. Then, you know, eventually we'll get the Tony Storm, the Jamie Hayter. You know what I'm saying?
Athena.
That's the one. That's the one.
Hey, all in next year. Please.
We need that in Texas.
If Mercedes is holding the belt till then, bro.
Title versus title. Fuck it.
Athena's she's one of the best wrestlers in the world, bro. Mercedes, one of the best wrestlers in the world. Man, oh man, bro. Missed opportunity right now.
But again, I'm cool with them being patient with it because they just aren't patient at all on the men's side. And I think that's what hurts them. Like, it's a lot of matches that they should say. Like, honestly, Wrestle Dream should have been Ricochet versus
Ospreay.
Not on a Wednesday. I know you try to put these matches on. I would assume, one, you want to entertain the fans. Two, you want to, you know what I'm saying? You really want to, like, try to pop a rating, essentially.
But
you know what I'm saying?
It's not even my fault.
No, you good. Go ahead.
Nah, because, like, I'll be talking to my pops about it. I'm like, AEW's problem for me is that they're not having, like what you say, like what we say all the time, they're not having stories weekly, where it's like, damn, like, I want to tune in and see what happens next week. Because they end up just giving us a dream match on a random Wednesday night when it should be
no story behind it.
It should be like, oh, you have fucking 3, 4, 6 weeks of story buildup, and then at Wrestle Dream, you have your match. That's your dream match. That's what you want to sell, not your weekly TV. And it kind of hurts, bro, because AEW is what got a lot of us into wrestling, or at least All In 2018 got us back into wrestling.
I agree.
I feel like there's still glimmers of that All In 2018 show in AEW now. I think they just need to realize it again. And speaking on the ratings, see, it is a bad thing, like how badly they were beaten, like people were saying. But also, I noticed when WWE, when SmackDown used to go on FS1 for some days, the ratings would be down a couple 100,000. Like, you know what I mean? Obviously, you're moving to a different day and all that. The marketing is maybe not there. So I'm not really gonna base it on that. We'll check again next week, see if it goes up, if it bumps up. You know what I mean? But I don't think the ratings determine if the show is good or not. I think the stories are what keeps us there.
Like, we had Bryan Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness on a Wednesday.
Should have never been.
Bryan Danielson, okay, let's say it was going to happen on a Wednesday, right? Let's say that. Why are we having that match when Bryan Danielson hasn't been there for weeks to properly tell this story to those that don't know about the... Okay, yeah, you did a video package on it, kinda, but we needed more than a video package. This is one of the greatest rivalries in wrestling history, and we didn't have one of the guys there the entire time to tell the story. That is like the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, right? Drew McIntyre was talking all that stuff while CM Punk wasn't there, and then we just have the match as soon as CM Punk comes back.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do that. They allowed it to cook. They built it
fucking 8 months.
So once we got the match 3 months in a row, once we got the trilogy 3 months in a row, it made sense. So they could have played this out a lot better. Honestly, that should have been the Wrestle Dream match.
Yup.
Instead of, you know what I'm saying?
It's like when the eventual Cena versus Randy happens next year, they're not just gonna give it for nostalgia purposes. WWE is gonna put together a story, like a full story, and give you like the rundown of their days in OVW, how it paralleled, and how Randy went this way and Cena went this way, but they always fought. Like, that's something Nigel McGuinness and Bryan Danielson, they've had this story rivalry since the Ring of Honor days, like 20 years ago, 15 years ago. That's something that it should have been talked about on a weekly basis, not just like, okay, Nigel McGuinness comes out of retirement for one day and then he wants to go face Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson, just out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, build to it. They should have gave that on fucking Wrestle Dream. I don't fucking know. Like, and especially like you said, Bryan Danielson wasn't even there on AEW programming for some time.
The entire time. Like, the story of the match was, can Daniel Bryan even make it?
Yeah.
Because of Moxley. So now we just took one of the greatest rivalries in wrestling history and kind of used it as a filler match and to enhance the beatdown that Jon Moxley gave on Bryan Danielson.
Which should have never
Instead of treating it like with care and respect to properly tell this story, because they're two completely different people now. We didn't even get to see like Bryan Danielson run him down on like, while you was out couldn't wrestle for all these years, I've been becoming for sure the greatest wrestler on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bryan Danielson didn't even get to tell him those type of things. So
like, oh, Nigel, I'll kick your fucking head in. Like, bro, like, I want to hear that shit, bro. Like,
we didn't get to see the hate that these guys have for each other. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get to fully see it and feel it and get us invested in it. Those that didn't know about it invested in it, and those that and those that knew about it but get further invested into it because now it's another match. It's possibly the final match between the two. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's another thing that we were saying. Like, the nostalgia acts, the dream matches, how does that translate to a casual fan base, which is who they should be targeting? Like we know, like, AEW has a core audience, the core fan base, people that ride or die or just watch it, but the casual fan base, which is, I feel like WWE has more of, which in the other hands, I feel like WWE needs more of a core audience and not less of a casual fan base, but I feel like it should definitely build upon a more core audience. Because there's moments where it's like, I don't fucking know, AJ Styles, right? Kenny Omega could come and nobody knows who the fuck Kenny Omega is. And I'm like, bro, y'all even watch wrestling, bro? Like the shit like that, which I wish WWE fans were more like. But same thing like AEW, I wish AEW was more casual. There was more like, fans that
it's
just
a balance too, especially if, again, you want to sell tickets. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is your goal. And that is one of the glaring things with that. Even someone like Dave Meltzer, who obviously is like kind of more of an AEW type of guy, you know what I'm saying? Even he can admit that the low ticket sales and things like that just don't look good.
They don't.
They just don't
smaller
look good.
arenas. Smaller arenas. It's okay.
Arenas, pack them out. That's their best bet.
TNA's been doing it for the past fucking 20 years.
And they've survived. You know what I'm saying? Now, AEW has an infinite amount of money to play with. That is, but that's also part of the issue, I feel like. Is that Tony doesn't see these as losses because
they have so much.
Ain't hurt. They got so much money to spend. But at a certain point, you're supposed to break a profit, man. And the way they're going, it's gonna be hard to break a profit.
Exactly.
Especially because you're essentially gonna be in a bidding war with WWE for a lot of your talent.
True. Bradley said
WWE guys or not.
CM Punk should have happened at Survivor Series instead of him taking a break. The only reason why he's taking a break is because Saudi Arabia. I feel like, me personally,
He not going to Saudi, bro.
He not showing up at Riyadh anytime soon. Especially
now,
after that.
Him at SummerSlam. I mean, we might see him at Survivor Series, but honestly, I don't think Gunther should eat 2 pins in a row. And CM Punk or Seth Rollins kind of needs to beat Gunther. CM Punk or Seth kind of needs to beat Gunther, and then we get CM Punk versus Seth at WrestleMania. Because to me, that's the one that has to wait for WrestleMania at this point.
Well, here's another thing about CM Punk. Like, I love CM Punk. I'm a huge CM Punk fucking mark. I want to see bro wrestle on fucking weekly TV. Not every fucking week. Just like,
nah,
I don't know.
He should be an attraction. It's like Cody. Cody don't wrestle fucking week.
No, but he do wrestle still.
He wrestles at every pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. But Cody don't wrestle on a week-to-week basis. He's a champion. CM Punk should be treated as a commodity. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I would love to see. That's why he's a guy that could leave for a month. And we're not gonna forget about CM Punk. When CM Punk comes back, he already said he had his eyes on Gunther.
Oh, this is a spoiler, but how was the fan reaction when the tag team returned to WWE on Monday?
I think when the War Raiders returned, it was a pretty good reaction. They got welcome back chants during the match. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was a very positive reaction. You know what I'm saying? And I think having them back, the Raw Tag Team division really needs them.
Shit.
So yeah, I think it was a good reaction for sure.
Well, we know fucking Ivar was fucking hooping without Eric.
Yeah, but for Eric, you know, those welcome back chants were more for Eric than Ivar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was perfect. That was perfect. And AJ Styles is tricking you, Brantley. But you know, I'm glad that you thought. I'm glad you thought he really got hurt. That's why he just go.
They said that he getting checked out, but I still think it's a work, bro.
I think it's a work, bro. I think it's a work, bro. Especially for Melo to post a picture of him limping out the arena, talking about how the night started versus how it ended, type shit. Like, yeah.
Unless it's like a Drew McIntyre, CM Punk situation. I prayed for this and it happened.
Yeah, we get Melo versus AJ at WrestleMania. Huh? Yeah, I doubt AJ. I doubt AJ is hurt for real.
I don't think
he's that type of guy too, where he's gonna try to keep kayfabe. You know what I'm saying? And if it was a serious injury, he wouldn't have been able to walk out on his own. You know?
Yeah, that motherfucker fucking he limped out the arena.
Ankle injury like that. You know, if it's something that serious, they would at least put him on a boot. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Just like we all thought that. I thought Jacob got hurt for real.
And then they put bro in a boot, like
damn, beating people ass in a boot.
Yeah, bro.
Love wrestling, man. AJ versus Finn at Mania. Ooh, that'll cool too. I just don't know how we get there. They on two different companies, my boy.
Two different brands, you mean?
Brands, you right. I need fucking Finn Balor to win the world championship too, but it ain't gonna happen no time soon. Shit.
Well, AJ Styles shouldn't beat Finn Balor at Mania if that happens. They
like for the title?
No, I'm saying just like in general. I feel like Finn Balor need a Mania win. Should have beat Edge, bitch ass. Should have beat Edge, bitch ass.
Edge didn't put him over, bro. I can't believe you, Adam.
That's fucked up. Mr. Copeland was fucking politicking and shit.
That's I can't believe that I can't believe that motherfucker, bro.
That's why Christian better, bro.
Christian better. I'm fucking weak, bro. But yeah, he
y'all don't know nothing about fucking TNA Christian Cage.
They don't.
Captain Charisma. Man, oh man, bro. Adam should have won at Extreme Rules and had Finn win Mania. Yeah.
I would have been cool with that.
Regardless, at the end of the day, like Finn Balor should have
walked away with the win at Mania.
Hell in the Cell, right? Yeah, it was. I remember he got busted open. He needed stitches. They damn near almost stopped the match, bro.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Well, yeah, bro. Derek, you got anything you want to say, bro?
Nope. I think we talked about pretty much everything that we need to discuss today.
We miss y'all, bro. Like we haven't potted in mad long. We miss y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We appreciate y'all tapping in.
Always.
I got some shit lined up for y'all, man.
You do.
We gonna be talking to a lot of indie wrestlers very soon. Some people coming up on the independent scene. So stay tuned for some Say I Quit, some Sick Click interviews coming up with some names who have, I talked to a young lady who wrestled Angelina Love last year.
Fire.
I talked to a guy who just pinned Rhino for the PWE Epic Championship. Um, several wrestlers that have some. I talked to a young lady who has appeared on AEW before and fought Tony Storm. So
Stormy.
yeah, be looking out, man. We got some big appearances that we're hoping to lock in soon, and hopefully we can get in contact with TNA as well, because I think they'll be a little easier for us to get in contact with in WWE. But
Yep.
we're gonna be getting back to getting at y'all at least once a week, and then eventually 2 times a week, and then interviews gonna be coming left and right.
Like
Pretty
crazy.
freaking soon. I got some things that's about to be coming up on my schedule. I know Reed figuring out his new schedule, Les figuring out his new schedule. So once we get all our new schedules and we are able to line up the exact times, we'll kind of have a schedule for when y'all gonna be able to expect us. And sometimes, when big things happen, we'll just jump on, randomly or on a Saturday night after a pay-per-view or something like that.
Content. We got a lot of content on the way. Like
A lot of content on the way. Edits, interviews, match reviews, merchandise as well. Stay tuned. I'm about to drop a couple YouTube shorts off on y'all for some raw spoilers for next week. I'm gonna drop both of those right now, actually, as we speak, and I'm gonna start the process of dropping them. And then y'all can peep out. I know I already posted a little bit of it on the shorts. Me and Reed at PWE, but stay tuned for my first time at PWE and some wrestling whereabouts. Actually, I'm gonna do the wrestling whereabouts first, and then I'm gonna do the raw spoilers this weekend. So yeah.
Shout out Lenny again for the invite. Sick Click loved it out there. Yeah, interview with Chris.
We need the 96 Chris episode too, bro.
Yeah, what a bro. Yo, you gotta let us know when you free, bro. Shit.
Totally waiting on him, man. Waiting on him, man, for sure. We got to do that special episode. I think 96 would be a good person to do that with the rappers and wrestlers.
Shit, bro.
That'd be hard. Yeah, that's what we're gonna bring you on for 96. Yeah.
I'll tell
you.
For
You know how to choose like what rapper is what wrestler and vice versa type shit. Like who would John Cena be as a rapper? Who would Stone Cold be as a rapper?
Reset Chance the Rapper is John Cena, bro. I'm gonna smack the
shit. Boy, we was still going on here. He's tweaking, boy. He just talking, man. He was just talking, man.
But we got some fun shit lined up for y'all, bro.
For sure. It's your boy Lil Durk, Les Hearted Jr. with me. We appreciate y'all tapping in with the Sick Click, and we will see y'all very, very soon. It's too sick.
Sweet sick.